Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Sheena if you don't already know me, and thank you guys for being here. Today on my channel we're going to be reviewing the Ring the Alarm palette from the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe collection. This one is so fall. Like, does that not scream fall to you? It screams fall to me. I am so excited to be doing this review. This is the second part of the review series. I have an entire series of the Vault collection down below. I will link that playlist down below for you guys. The last one I did was the Dark Magic palette, so if you guys want to see that, I will link that video down below, so make sure you go show some love on that one. I'm just going to go through the eye process with you guys. Everything else on my face I'm going to list down below in the description box, so if you guys want to know what I'm wearing on my skin or anything, make sure you go check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches of this palette to show you guys my opinion. I talk about the palette throughout the process. This isn't going to be a voiceover like my last video was. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch this palette, so let's just get right on into it. Alright, so to swatch the palette, I am going to go from top row left to right, bottom row left to right. I have nothing on my arm. My arm is completely clean. So to do this, I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3 swirls, and then I'm just gonna go straight down. Alright, so now that I've swatched the palette, I just wanted to talk about a few of the shades. So I would say that the most pigmented shade of this entire palette is this shade Boom right here. This is probably my favorite shade of the palette, so I'm really happy that this one worked out really well. It just went on so smooth and like so much pigmentation, and I'm just unbelievably blown away. I am a little disappointed by the shade Rush, so that's that orange shade. I don't even know how to do this properly. So this is that orange shade right here. Kind of actually disappointed by all the mattes besides this shade Framed and this shade Secret. These two are pretty pigmented, I would say. The rest of the mattes in this palette I'm a little disappointed by. They just swatch really shitty, to be completely honest, but that's not the real test at all. The real test is totally on the eyes. I'm just like a little confused because Jaclyn's video was like pigment, like so much pigment, and I'm just like not really getting that on my arm. So I don't know if she had like primer on her arm or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, this palette doesn't swatch the best, but I do have to say it works pretty well on the eyes. Without further ado, let's get right on into the tutorial. Alright, so I'm going to be using the Ring the Alarm palette. I'm going to go for like, I want to say just more of like a basic, simpler look, because the last one I did was pretty intense in a cut crease, and I do a lot of cut creases, so I need to change it up and I need to do something different. So I am going out tonight, so I'm going to do something that I can wear out, you know. So I'm going to take the shade Rush, and I'm just going to start putting that into my crease. So the shade is pretty easy to blend out, I would say. I'm not having any struggles with this one at all. I'm gonna go in a more flatter blending brush, and I'm gonna go in with the shade Mugshot. So this one right here. And I'm just gonna define my crease a little bit more with this shade. Wow, this shade's really pigmented. I like barely tapped in there. And then I'm going to just take that fluffy brush again, and I'm going to go back into Rush and just blend out that shade a little bit. The color I'm like dying to dip into is this color Framed right here. It's like this purple, yummy, like warm tone purple, and I really love that shade. Like, it pulls so well on my eye color because I have green eyes. The shade always looks so good. Alright, so I'm taking the Morphe R39, and I'm just going to use, it's the exact same brush I used to apply Mugshot. So I'm just going to go back in and apply this kind of in the same way that I did Mugshot. color's just so pretty. This one is very pigmented. You just have to like lightly tap into the palette. I find like a lot of pigment comes off. This is like a very pigmented shade. So you need to treat it as it's very pigmented and be really light-handed with it. You can't go in very heavy-handed. It is a little trickier to work with. I find that it's so pigmented that it's hard to almost blend out. This eye always blends out way better than this eye does, and it drives me insane. So I'm going to take the shade Secret now, and I'm going to put that onto my outer crease just to deepen it up a little bit. That shade is almost similar to Frame, that it almost doesn't even show up. I don't know if you guys can see, but it barely shows up no matter like how much I pack it on. I just still see the purple, so I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more purple and just deepen that edge up. For now, the fun part, I'm gonna go in with some of these shimmer shades. So I'm probably gonna go in with Boom on the outer edge here, and then I'm gonna go in with On Camera right here and use that more of like the inner part. So I'm gonna try it dry first just to see how much pigment I get from it. So far so good. I mean, it's not bad, but I do prefer, yeah. So I'm just gonna take some MAC Fix Plus and I'm just gonna spray the brush. There we go. That looks so much better. So one thing you have to do with shimmers and mattes is you kind of have to overlap them to blend them. So I'm just taking that shade Framed again and I'm just gonna overlap them. And they just start to blend really nice. I'm just gonna rub off that brush that I was using, and now I'm gonna go to On Camera. I'm gonna take that shade, and I'm also just gonna, this one's a lot more stiff than Boom is, so I'm just gonna take some MAC Fix Plus on this one as well. Because I already know what's gonna happen, it's just not gonna be up to my standards. So this shade I'm just putting on more of the inner crease, and then I'm going to take a blending brush after and I'm just going to blend out the edges. Loving the shadow. I'm going to try my finger because it's not even, there we go. So I have to take my finger and dig in pretty deep. It's like probably one of those shades that got packed too hard, but it looks beautiful when you take your finger. I absolutely love that. Oh, that looks so good. So I'm just gonna take the shade Framed really lightly. Actually, I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of Mugshot, and I'm just going to blend that out because it's kind of giving me like a cut crease vibe right now, and I don't really want that. You know when a makeup look just turns out so good and you're just like, yes, girl. That's what I feel like right now. This palette's almost easier to work with than the Dark Magic palette was. The Dark Magic palette was such deep tone colors that those are like almost nearly impossible to work with for some people. I'm gonna take the shade Lolly. It's like this pinky gold reflex. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna kind of put it over top a little bit. I wanna kind of tone down the gold as much as I love it. I really like that pink reflex in that. Wow, that took that look to a whole new level. I'm gonna take my Rodeo Drive highlighter by Ofra, and I'm gonna put this on my brow bone and on the inner corner. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face and I will be right back. Wow, you guys, I used the Fenty Beauty and this Clarins Everlasting foundation. I pumped them together because they're both not my shades. Holy shit, the most full coverage foundation I think I've ever applied on my face. Like, there's not a single flaw on my face right now. And I'm like, somewhat living for it, but like somewhat not, because I'm like, this is way too heavy to wear like every single day, but for this makeup look, it looks hella good. I'm super impressed with it. So now going back into the Ring the Alarm palette, I'm gonna do my lower lash line. I'm going to start with the shade Framed, so that luscious, beautiful purple. And I'm just gonna put this all over really close to the lash line. So I'm gonna take this Luxie brush and I'm going to take the shade Mugshot And I'm just gonna blend that out underneath. I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive. I have literally used this to pieces. I love this highlighter so much. And I'm just gonna dust it on my cheekbones. So I'm just gonna do mascara and lashes and I will be back again. Okay. Alright, so now that you guys have seen the tutorial, you've probably seen how I feel about a few of the shades. My favorite shade by far in this palette is Boom. That is a stunning shade. I absolutely love that shade. This palette's pretty good, I would say. It's not my... you know, like, I do love it, but, there's a but. I probably have these shades in other Morphe palettes, I want to say, or similar to. I know Jaclyn, these are the ones that she made separate from her big Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I'm really glad that I got these palettes. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of them, but at the same time I do feel like I have these shades in other palettes. This palette's not really that unique to me. She has more shades in the Vault collection that are really unique that I personally don't have in my collection. And honestly, you guys, I have a lot of fucking eyeshadow palettes. Like, I have an insane amount of eyeshadow palettes for one person. Like, that would probably last me like 2 lifetimes. It's nuts, I know, but I'm addicted to eyeshadow. I love eyeshadow. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. So, I don't think this is like a ride or die you need in your collection. I think like the Morphe 35O, that is a great bang for your buck, to be completely honest. These purples, this pink is really unique. I don't think I really have anything in my collection like this, but honestly, like these colors here, I know for a fact I do have, and it's just, yeah, like the quality of the mattes is good. Like they blend out very well in the eyes, but swatch, they're not that great. I did have a trouble blending out the shade Mugshot and Frame Together. Those two didn't really blend out the best. Maybe it was just like my brushes. I don't really know. I'm just telling you guys like my personal opinion. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and hit that like button, really helps me out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, bye.